We're up when the rooster crows, clock in when the whistle blows. 8 hours ticking slow, and then tomorrow we'll do it all over again. I'm a member of a blue-collar crowd. They can never, no, they can't keep us down. If you gotta label me proud. I belong to the dream.
In 1945, in a small town of Miami, Oklahoma, a large tire factory opens its doors for manufacturing from small trailer tires to 11-foot 777s. The Goodrich plant sat on 2 miles of land. The property had many of its own resources, such as a landfill, a chemical runoff lagoon, power plants, and a railroad system. When Goodrich first came to northeastern Oklahoma, Miami was a very small town not far from one of the largest lead mines in the world, Pitcher, Oklahoma. But after Goodrich opened, over 2,000 jobs opened for the area. People would just drive hundreds of miles commutes from Kansas and Missouri just to come work at the Miami plant. Soon after Goodrich opened, shops did too. Miami had jobs and people had the money to spend, and businesses recognized that. Several grocery stores came, such as Reese's or TJ&Y. Grocery stores wasn't just it, though. Plenty of fast food chains came too. Miami at one time had Wendy's, Burger King, Dairy Queen, McDonald's, Arby's, and plenty more. In 1985, the Goodrich Corporation merged with a competing tire company called Uniroyal. Not too soon after the merge, in 1986, the multi-million-dollar company decided to pick up and leave, leaving almost no explanation to why possibly such a huge part of the northeastern Oklahoma area would just up and leave. This left roughly 2,000 people jobless. Some of these employees would have been working there 20, 30 years. The plant closing left the town of Miami a gloomy mess. Not long after, shops couldn't afford to keep their doors open. People without jobs as products not being bought, and without products being bought, stores had no choice but to close its doors, which only meant more people losing their jobs. It was a constant turnaround of poverty and economic depression to the small area. To this day, the town of Miami still faces the same economic problems it did 30 years ago when Goodrich closed. With the lack of people who want to make a change to the town has eroded away like a piece of driftwood lost in the ocean. About 20 years after the plant closing, the EPA found traces of benzene in the surrounding neighborhoods. Benzene is a highly cancerous, highly flammable chemical used in the make of tires. After more investigation, they found 5 to 10 gallons of Goodrich's benzene was leaking weekly for a long while. At this time, it was the early 2000s, and Michelin had bought out Goodrich Corporation. So the EPA question was who was at fault. After years and years of court, they finally found Michelin accountable for the leak and ordered Michelin to provide the funds for the cleanup of the asbestos and benzene still left on the grounds. The cleanup began in the spring of 2014 and was never finished due to the cleanup company going bankrupt in the summer of 2015. Although most of everything is torn down, rubble still sits in those same spots those huge buildings sat before. B.F. Goodrich was just a mere example of what blue-collar work was. Plants like Goodrich not only made a name for a small town like Miami, Oklahoma, but they made a name for America. The great country everyone used to talk about before these plants up and left. Where are you from?
Originally Oklahoma City. Moved here when I was about 6 or 7.
Okay. Did you spend most of your life here?
Yeah, up until I graduated high school.
Okay. How long did you live around here?
About 15 years total.
Okay. Were you around during the B.F. Goodrich times?
The better part of the ending times before they shut down, yeah.
What was it like back then?
It was bustling. There was all kinds of shops and stuff downtown. JCPenney's was here. We had all kinds of fast food restaurants and restaurants that were opening up all up down Main Street. Main Street was always busy.
So the economy was much better then.
Oh yeah, people had money to spend.
Did you know anyone that worked at B.F. Goodrich?
For a short period of time, my father worked there. He owned his own business before and after his time at Goodrich, but he worked there for a short time through the winter months mostly.
How did he enjoy his time there?
Well, he was enjoying it because he was getting, his personal or his own business was a seasonal job, and whereas Goodrich was 24/7. So he enjoyed it quite a bit. Enjoyed making a little more or steady money at the time.
What was this area or northeastern Oklahoma like during the time of Goodrich?
Bustling. I mean, the whole area came to Miami instead of going to Joplin or going to Tulsa. For the most part, they came to Miami for the longest time. All their area towns. And the kids, the youth, came to Miami almost every other night or so.
Was there a lot of poverty in Miami when B.F. Goodrich was around?
You didn't see it like that. You didn't see it like it is today.
Did they ever have an explanation for why B.F. Goodrich closed?
Well, the explanation given was that they were bought out and they were moving the company or the factory down to Mexico.
How was it after the town? How was the town after Goodrich closing?
At first, you didn't notice anything, but as the years rolled by, you started seeing the town roll up. The downtown Penny's closed their store here, and many other businesses shut down, and you started seeing it die.
So what all would you say Goodrich brought to this town?
Prosperity and opportunity to work for a living, make a decent wage, and live a good life.
What was all the things it took away?
Just that. It took away the prosperity. It took away ever since then, I do not feel that the town leaders have pushed to bring in any other industries that would match that. And I think it's what's keeping this down now.
What was your take on the benzene contamination?
Well, considering visiting the contamination at Goodrich is bad, but we also have Tar Creek down on the other side of town, so that doesn't help the fact. And then, I've dealt with other contaminated areas before, and as long as it's contained, it's tolerable. Let's put it that way.
How do you feel about this relic being torn down?
I hate to see. I wish they would have used it for something else. I wish they would have restored it, or even to use the land for other things. Right now, I know it's because of contamination, they can't use it for a lot of things, but there are